Hello friends, I've been spending more money on eBay. There's a 1990s Electrolux in this box. So I have my trusty knife. Let's take it out of the box and see what we've got. Hopefully it's survived the transport. We'll see. Okay then, let's attempt to get into this. We've definitely got a lot of black bags here, so let's just slice down the side, like so, and we'll get into it. Okay. My God, this is the third machine that's turned up in these same kind of boxes, these like packing crate boxes. It's weird. Oh, here we go. Expose it. Let me put that down so I don't stab myself. Okay. Let's get rid of this black bag. There we go. I guess the best way to do it is like this. Okay, yeah, I think that's the machine like facing up. So let's slice around the side. It's been a while since I've owned one of these. Hang on. Let's slice myself. Okay. Let's get here. Hey, there we go. So we can flip up the box. And there's the machine. Woohoo! Good. You can see what it is, can't you? It is an Electrolux Contour. I think I paid £25 for it plus shipping, so it wasn't too expensive. I'll tell you what, let's get that out of the way. There's the handle, so that's a good start. Put a bit of tape on it. So let's put the handle over here. Need to get rid of this box. Let's just lift that up and out, like so. I'll bring that back in a minute. Let's get rid of this box a second. There we go. Box down there. So as you can see, I haven't opened this previously. This is the virgin opening of the cleaner. So we're going to take a look at it, get out this bubble wrap, and we'll see if it works. It was sold as working. But some people's sort of interpretation of working is very different to what other people's interpretation would be. Can we just slide this off? I think so. Quite well packed. Snigger. There we go. Ooh. Oh, we're looking alright. Yeah. Looks in pretty good condition, I have to say. Just move the bag door off, that's going to go flying. And then we'll take the double wrap off from here. There we go. Brilliant. Well, it's unwrapped now in all its naked glory. I can see we do have a problem here with the chassis. This seems to have come apart. I suspect one of the screw pillars has broken off. That was a very common fault with the Mk1 Contour. So let's get this bag door back on. Pop that back in. There we go. So this is a Contour 600, and it's an early machine, and that's really the reason why I bought it. Because you can usually find Contours for sale on eBay in various states of repair, but they're very rarely the early machines. I think this is an early Mk1, but we'll find out in a sec. First of all, we'll pop the handle on. So in order to do that, you can't really see this, sorry. You have to move the hose down a bit so you can access the the screw, and then you just slide it in thus. Take your flathead screwdriver, do up this screw, there we go, screwed in, so that's the handle attached. Wake the hose back over, and there we go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it needs a clean, definitely, but to be honest with you, it looks pretty good, I have to say. I haven't seen one of these for such a long time. I don't have any contours in my collection at all. And when I saw this, I thought, do you know what? Now is probably the time to start collecting them when you can find them. Because these are 30 years old now, I think. We'll see exactly the date of this one in a sec. I have a feeling they came out in either 1990 or 1991. I'm pretty sure it was one of those 2 years. I'm pretty sure. I think Glider came out in 1989, and Contour followed soon after. So Contour was the replacement for the ever popular 600 series. Now, it's quite surprising. 600 didn't actually stick around for that long. We kind of have it in our minds that they were around for longer than they actually were, but they were like 1985 to 1991. So not a hugely long run, and I suspect the reason for that was because 600 was quite expensive to make. Contour has less parts to it. It's a simpler vacuum cleaner than 600 was, but retains a lot of the DNA of the 600 series. They are closely related cleaners. So let's check out the date of this one. Let's see exactly when it was made. So it's model Z1410, and this particular one was manufactured in late 1992. So it's not an early one, but it is an early one. Now, the reason for this, and the reason I can tell it's an early one, is because it has no ratchet pedal. On the later Contours, there was a pedal here for a horrible ratchet mechanism. And you could absolutely tell that it was a retrofit idea, because they retained the original Contour's hood, but cut a hole in it for the pedal and the chassis as well. They didn't want to go down the route of creating a whole new chassis for this cleaner in order to add a ratchet pedal. So on the Mark II Contour, you have the black pedal here, and there's a bar that runs down, and it runs all the way down here, all the way along here to about this point here, and then it kind of like goes down, it points downwards. So when you press down on the ratchet pedal, the whole bar moves. So it moves down at this point, it pivots down at this point, it pivots across this section, and it pushes a little plastic tab that's down here on the chassis inward in order to activate the ratchet. The original Mark I machine, as you can see, has no such pedal. And basically the ratchet was a friction ratchet that runs on the chassis. It is not in any way, shape or form a good idea, because what happens is, I'm not sure this will actually go down, I think this one might be stuck. You just apply your foot here, and oh god, that makes me just go ugh. Just hearing that sound makes me shudder. And then you pull the body back, and then you can obviously use it in upright mode, or you can do it again, crack, to lay the machine down flat, or flatter. It doesn't go fully flat, that's about it. It's not too bad. Whilst we've got it like this, I can see there's some discoloration to the plastic. So this is the original colour. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Like a very light grey, very light grey. The rest of the body has faded over time, and it's more of a darker grey with a slight green tint to it. This happens all the time on lighter coloured plastics. It is particularly apparent how they do this horrible fading. It's fine, it could be brought back with Retrobrite. Oh, thud. But yeah, it just takes some effort. So, in order to show you how this ratchet works, and I can't show you like, particularly well because you'd have to take the machine apart in order to show you properly. But there's, hopefully you might be able to see that there. But just at that point there, can you see that? There's a little ridge that's moulded into the chassis there. And that is effectively the ratchet. So it works by the tension and the flex, not this flex, but the flexibility of the chassis in order to move this part as the body passes over it. Now we do have a problem here. We can see that that the chassis is starting to come away from the hood. And as I said earlier, this is probably broken posts for the screws that go through the chassis into the hood itself. Can we see them? Oh yes, we can see the holes here. Oddly, there don't appear to be any screws at the back here. That's actually, that may have helped. If those screws have not been in here for a long time, it allows the chassis to flex more because it's not being pulled down by the hood. So that greater flex in the chassis means that the posts will have survived, hence why the ratchet is still working. Most of the time, let's check the belt. Yeah, quite good belt tension. I can't hear any clicking from the motor, which is a good sign. Most of the time, when I saw these back in like the early to mid 90s, when they were incredibly popular, they were such popular cleaners, they really were. The machines would come into the shop that I was working in, and the customer would carry them by the handle, like this, they'd carry it in. And 9 times out of 10, the hook, the base would be down like that. They would just be flopping around because the ratchet had worn out. It was not a good idea, and Electrolux had a lot of complaints about this. That it was, I mean, there's bad ideas and then there's bad ideas. This was a bad idea, not the worst, not the worst bad idea ever, but it was a bad idea. They were obviously trying to cut costs. It's a massive cost-cutting measure to make the machine cheaper to make and cheaper to maintain as well. Less effort in the build process. Unfortunately, when people are using them in the real world, in real life, plastic just wears out. It just wears, and that constant up and down motion of an upright vacuum cleaner caused the chassis to wear, and then you had no ratchet. It's quite funny, really, when you think about the Mk1 600 series with the ratchet ring, which I mentioned in the 600 video. That was a misstep on that cleaner, and then Lux repeated a misstep on the follow-up cleaner, and obviously had to go back and make changes to the chassis, make changes to the hood, create a pedal, and put in this god-awful, horrible bar system. They are a pain in the bum, because when you're trying to get the machine back into one piece, you're trying to put the hood back on the chassis, you have to make sure that that bar is in exactly the right place. If it's a millimetre out either way, well, in any way, it won't work. And you find that when you put the hood back on, it'll push the bar out the way, so you end up with a pedal that won't work. It won't go down. That's the problem, because the bar is misaligned. Nightmare. So, as an overview of this 1410, I haven't done too bad here, really. I think for 25 quid, I can make this look really nice. It would be a really nice looking cleaner. One that I'd be glad to have in my collection. A couple of things I've noticed whilst we've been sat here chatting. The multi-tool is missing. That should sit up here. As you can see, there's an aperture there on the handle for it to fit into. That has sadly been lost over time, but never mind. One will turn up at some point. But yeah, overall, stick a couple of screws in here. It needs a service. I can see that there's all dirt and muck sort of piled up in the chassis itself. That needs to be sorted out. It needs a really good clean. But I think what we should probably do now is see if it works. Is that on or off? Right, that's off. Okay. So let's plug it in, see if it runs. I am really surprised that the ratchet mechanism still works. That is a real shock. I would have put money on the fact that that hood slash chassis would have been floppy, that it would have just flopped down. But no, amazingly, it's still got tension to it. Let's plug it in. And obviously this is the first time that I run this cleaner. So yeah, shall we see if it works? Cross your fingers, here we go. Let's press the power button. No, I'm no expert. I think that might be blocked up. In fact, I think it might be very, very blocked up. So let's do the usual. So there's no suction through the hose, as we saw. And we've got the hose here. This section pivots downwards, and you should be able to pull this out. Crack. There we go, it unlocks like so. Now what are we going to find in here? Absolutely stuffed. Absolutely stuffed. I'm sticking my finger in its hole and I can feel there's something plastic in there. What is that? Let me see if I can get that. I never said a crisp packet. Hang on. Right, okay. Plastic. Ooh, there's a lot in here. Let's just pull it out. Oh my goodness me. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Yep. So there's that. There's still more. Hang on. Hang on. So I think it was probably that was causing the main problem. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got a hair clip. A hair clips always cause problems. But there was a hair clip inside a little plastic thing. I wonder if that's a hair clip holder. It might be. I wonder now, if we turn it on now, what will happen? Okay, well we've got some suction now, so that's good. That's a start. What's this? Oh, we've got a little blue gem. Look. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful. So this is all very stuffed up too. I don't know what that is. Can you take the hose out? I think you can probably take the hose out of this. Oh, there we are. Okay, so we're almost there actually. It wasn't too bad. I've seen a lot worse than this. Look. Just like compacted dirt. It's now all over the dining table. Lovely. I didn't think that through, did I? There we go. Oh wow. Filthy. Let's pop the joint back in. That's very, very stiff. It shouldn't be that stiff. I wonder if it's worn. Probably. Right, let's see if we've got some suction here now. Motor sounds a little bit rough. I think we need to give that a service. Let's just pop that little pile of crap and stuff over there. Hang on. Well, yeah, okay. It works. I think after a service that will sound much, much better. Ugh. Dust. Dust. Yeah, okay. £25. I ain't going to moan at that. I think that's really good, actually. Yeah, pleased with it. So I think what I'll do is give it a service, sort out all its issues. I think I've got some bags as well. I've probably got some bags and filters upstairs. Actually, let's check out the filters. That's a good point. Let's have a look. There's one there. So let's slide the bag out like so. Not a genuine Electrolux bag. But it's not too bad, actually. Yeah. That's all right. See, I can't remember. Does this go like that? I think that goes like that, actually. Yes, it does. There we go. Yeah, so these sort of slightly T-shaped filters are just like the standard fit for Contour. Much better than the original 600 was. It only had a tiny little filter cage that was like that awful rough foam stuff. It was terrible. But yeah, you put it on like that. Oh, actually, I think it may. Does it go that way? Can't remember, it's been a long time since I've seen one. Oh, there we go, that's better. Yeah, so that sort of works in the indentations. Or maybe it's that way. Oh my god, I could spend all day doing this. I don't think it matters. In fact, you know what? I think that is actually the exhaust filter. If you look at the carbon dust on that side, just here, look. It looks like that has been there, but someone has moved it and put it as a pre-motor filter. I think that was like that, you know. Yeah, I think so. Let's pop the bag back in. Oh, that's interesting. There's no safety mechanism here. Look, there's nothing there to stop you from putting the bag door on. No, there isn't. Without a bag in it. I thought they all had that. Maybe it was only the second generation Contour. Yeah. See, normally you can't put the bag door on without a bag being in place. 600 had that feature, and I'm sure the Mark II Contours had it, so maybe it was missed out on Mark 1. They just didn't bother to put it on, which seems a bit silly. Maybe for the sake of a bit of plastic, a little plastic lever. I don't know. Whatever. Let's pop this back on. So there we go. We've got our exhaust filter now. Suction actually for a 600 watt machine, the suction is actually pretty good. Obviously we have our standard height control mechanism here. I always thought it was quite funny that there's a tools setting. You turn it round to this point to use the tools, but nobody ever did, because people were like, oh, I'm going to turn it round to there to use the tools. I just took the hose out. And obviously the reason for that is to raise the chassis so the brush roll is not constantly in contact with your carpet. Because if you leave it there for too long, it's spinning away on the carpet. You've got nylon bristles, you might have nylon carpet as well. You can get a lot of heat build up and the brush roll can actually damage the carpet. So the manufacturers put this tools setting on the height control, which you're meant to put it in that when you use the tools, but nobody ever did. They never did. So yeah, I think the only luxury feature on this particular model is a bag full indicator, which is right down here. Now, how on earth is anyone going to see that? This tiny little slider here, when you're all the way up there vacuuming, how are you going to see this? I mean, it's ridiculous. And I don't think this one's functional. I can't really see. How this works is there's a little cutout here at this point. So when the pressure builds up in the bag chamber, it's able to pull this little piston back, which then shows red to show the user when the bag's full. But obviously over time, over like, what, 28 years, the dust gets sucked in to this point. And that stops the piston from moving. So it is quite easy to fix. You can pop this out from the other side, take it apart, clean it, maybe put a little tiny bit of oil in there so the piston moves back and forth freely. And then, yeah, they're easy to fix. So we do have a little sticker here to tell us about the features of this particular Contour. So it says Contour 1410, 600 watt twin fan motor, standard on Electrolux at this time. Flexible triple stretch hose with 8-foot reach, built-in tools ready for use, 5.5 litre reusable dust bags and dust bag check indicator, 4-level air filtration, so that would be the dust bag, the 2 pre-motor filters and the exhaust filter, yeah, fully variable floor type selector and carpet edge cleaning. So yeah, I mean, I suppose this particular machine would have retailed for probably around £100. I would have thought this is the base model. I don't think there was a Z1400, so the 1410 would have been the base. And Lux did that mostly. Actually, no, there may have been a 1400. Because if you think about the Light series, there was a Z1800, 1810 and 1820. 1800 being the base model, the 10 being the one with the cord rewind, and then the 20 was the one with the electronic variable power. But I don't think there was a Z1400. I suspect the original trio of Contours were 1410, 1420 and 1430, with various other models added after. I mean, Lux made so many of these, so many different variants. But yeah, it's nice to have one in my collection now. Glad to have it. Glad I didn't pay too much for it. 25 quid is probably about right. But as I've said to you in previous videos, 90s machines like this are going to start to become collectible items now, because there's fewer and fewer of them remaining in the world. Most of them have been scrapped. So yeah, it's nice to have. So I'm going to take this away. I'm going to do a service on it. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to make it as good as it can be. I'll show you the finished results in a follow-up video. We'll take it out for a run in the lounge, give it a go, and yeah, see how it performs. So that's it for now. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this sort of unboxing first look kind of video. I'll do them from now on. If you guys like them, I'll happily do them for you, because it's quite exciting for me to do it too, and then it gives me a chance just to talk through the cleaner. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do the usual: commenting, subscribing, liking. It really helps me out and I appreciate it massively. So until the next video, take care guys, and I will see you soon. Bye. I need to clean up all this mess now. Ooh.